Good morning, everyone. I recognise new faces. It's lovely to see you. But for those of you who don't know me, so I'm Lena Hartman. I work in the DCMS Youth Strategy team. My role is basically to lead our engagement with other government departments, and I also kind of oversee our future policy options, future strategy. And as he said, I work quite closely with the NYA and the LGA to update the statutory guidance and actually sort of set up the peer reviews now, so a year and a bit ago. So really excited to be here to hear back kind of your views on how that's been going and how the work's been going. I was asked to provide a bit of an update on DCMS's work. I'm not going to touch on peer reviews or local coordination because people in the room can do that way better than I do. But I thought it would be interesting for you to hear a little bit about what's been on our mind, I guess, as we're preparing for the year that's coming. DCMS holds responsibility for kind of out-of-school youth provision and youth work, and that basically means ensuring young people have access to those positive activities, but also ensuring there's a sector that's supported to do that and to do that in the right way and making it easier for communities and organisations to kind of connect and provide that support. And we do that with you, we do that with other organisations, with the NYA, with other government departments. And really most of our work is making the case for youth services and for youth work. And as Ron said, I wish we didn't have to do that, but unfortunately we do, and we have to continue doing it. And over the past couple of years, we've done that through the National Youth Guarantee, which I won't talk about. I'm sure you've heard about it over the past couple of years, but it has been kind of the flagship commitment. And it was about funding, but it was also about expressing what young people wanted in a very clear way and trying to gather momentum around that across the sector and trying to show that increasing access to those opportunities was what young people wanted. But obviously there's more to do. So we're starting to think about what's coming basically this year and into the next couple of years. I wish I could come and give you tell you I have all the answers. I don't. What's coming is a lot of questions, but also a lot of opportunities that we're really excited about. One thing I wanted to touch on, which is definitely happening, so that's good, is that in spring we'll publish what's called a Dormant Assets Statement of Intent, which is basically going to provide some details about how the next tranche of dormant assets money will be spent on youth. I don't know how much you know about dormant assets, but it's a bit different. It's a pot of funding that DCMS doesn't entirely have control over. So basically what that means is that the Statement of Intent will give a sense of direction and give some priorities on how the funding should be sort of flowed, but not necessarily the details of the projects that this funding will go to. But that's a significant pot of money, and we're quite excited about that because it will sort of continue the momentum and the importance of youth services. What comes after that is a bit of a moving piece. A general election at one point, any time, potentially. We're kind of expecting it to be in fall, but could be any time before that, and obviously that will have big ramifications for our work and for your work. The practical next thing for us really is the new money announcement at the next spending review. We think it will happen after the general elections. Once again, don't know. So a lot of the work that we're doing is actually just preparing for any scenario, both in terms of the length of the spending review, the level of funding, and it's really about having a wide range of policy options that is based on evidence and that is based on your feedback, so that we can continue making the case no matter what happens. The reason why I say all of this is because over the past year and a half, maybe, we've been having those conversations with you, with the sector, and with the NYA, doing some horizontal scanning, doing some evidence building, and many spreadsheets and long documents of gathering everything that we know to try and capture the sort of ideal state of the sector that we would want and to have loads of those options that we'd be ready to present. So thank you to those of you who have engaged with us in that process and have sort of fed into the work that we're doing, and hopefully you can see some of your views reflected on there. But that is how we're going to shape our work, really going into the spending review. And that's also how we're talking to ministers at the moment. That's how we're presenting our advice. And linked what John was saying, your experience helps us craft our advice in a way that's rooted in reality on the ground. And all of the feedback that you give and all of the examples that you give, that helps us crafting an advice that is realistic and that is really based on the experience on And the way we're using that as well, and I do that a lot in my work, is in our conversation with other government departments. So recently I've been having loads of conversation with the Department for Education, Department for Work, Home Office, Ministry of Justice, to start developing a joint understanding of what all of that means, not only for DCMS priorities, but also for their priorities, because we all know that youth services it's not just about doing fun things for young people. It is actually about providing those tools and those relationships for young people so that they can thrive and they can sort of avoid going down the right path. So we're doing quite a lot of that. And thank you again, yes, for those of you who have engaged with us to kind of start developing that vision and make that case. I did want to spend a bit of time showing you this, which is not perfect by any means, but it is to kind of show you how we've been talking about it, both within our department, but also with other government departments. We see our role very much in the universal youth services in DCMS, sort of providing those positive opportunities that, as I said, give young people the right tools and the right relationships to kind of thrive in life. And we've been pushing that narrative of early prevention, early intervention, to make sure that actually they don't necessarily need targeted prevention and specialist intervention down the line. That's really been resonating with other government departments, which one thing is once again should be a given, but it's not always. And so we've been really pushing that narrative of early intervention and preventativeness of universal services. And we've also been pushing the narrative of youth workers, which you can see on the right there, showing that actually youth workers, they don't just do the universal services. They are the ones who do the targeted prevention. They are the ones who do some of the specialist interventions. And that driving investment into youth workers actually means meeting a lot of the cross-government priorities, whether it's attendance and school engagement and employability, youth violence, youth crime. We've been talking a lot about antisocial behaviour. So driving investment in that actually meets all of our objectives. And I know it sounds really simple, but I just want, I guess, to clarify that this is the way that we've been talking about it, and that's the case that we've been trying to push, and I know you've been trying to do the same. Because of what this event is, I also, I guess, wanted to take the time to say that we know through all of this uncertainty and for all of the work that we're doing, we know that the work you're doing is key, but mostly that partnerships and local coordination are incredibly powerful tools for all of us and for government in particular to do our work in the best way. And there will be many questions, but we hope that we can create tools and we can create infrastructure and resources like the therapies and like the guidance that will help us all, I guess, provide the best support for young people. And having those conversations both at the national level, the way that we do in DCMS, but also at the regional and local level, is really key. So I guess this is me saying, please continue to talk to us, please continue to engage. What you say does not disappear, it feeds into all of those data spreadsheets and documents that will help us shape our policy options as we go into the next technical review. So thank you so much for your work. Thank you so much for engaging with us. I really hope today will be helpful and inspiring. I'm sure it will be. I do have to dash off at 1, but if you have any questions before that, just let me know.